a week where we just have the lunatics on.
I thought maybe I'd start tonight's show with a little bit of a roast, if you will. And Ashley told me to cool my jets, not to go after anybody. But some of y'all know, some of y'all right now know what I was about to do. Somebody said I was being a little bit spicy. And I was going to show some people what me being spicy really is like, but I'll defer. Woosa. Those of you who know. Anyway, because I love that cut. Let me play it again.
We're thinking about doing a late night show a couple nights a week where we just have the lunatics on.
Yeah, I really know how he feels. Okay, I'll let it go. I'm letting it go. I was pull back. All right. For everybody else, welcome to a Saturday evening show. I hope you guys all had a great Saturday afternoon. It was absolutely glorious down here in Florida, South Florida. I don't know about North Florida. It was very nice. Boca Raton Seafood Festival. Had some time with the wife. It was just utterly amazing. And I drove by a few Tesla dealerships down here, and what do you know? Nothing really happening down here. In fact, we were at one restaurant, and Rob and I were sitting out by the restaurant, and somebody drove up with a custom-wrapped Cybertruck. And he parked it not too far from where we were sitting, and everybody that saw this custom-wrapped Cybertruck were just like, ooh, look at that, wow. No nuts, none of the nuts running around. Nobody running around trying to tear down an American business. Nobody out there trying to denigrate the owner of an American business who's done nothing to them. In fact, you stick a microphone in some of these people, is what has Elon Musk done to you? And not a single person can ever answer that question. There's some videos all over X where people were asked it. What are you protesting? And all they do is reach for the camera and want to throw stuff. And like, okay, so you're telling us that you're zombie orcs. You have no idea why you're out here. You're just told or maybe paid to be out here. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to spend a good amount on this show showing you the insanity of what's going on against Tesla. Because to me, it bothers me as a business person. It really bothers me that we have a communist base of people here who think it's okay to go out and just do whatever they want for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Check this out. So these people feel as though they, quote, deserve a future. I wasn't aware, and nothing have I seen that Elon Musk is, taking a future away from these people. In fact, most of these people look like the future has already passed them. They don't seem to have a future because they've wasted the time that they could have been building a future. So I fail to understand what these people are talking about. What future is it that you feel you, number one, deserve? Because you heard their words. We deserve a future. I don't think anybody deserves anything. You got to go out there and make it yourself. So tell me how an American company deserves, or rather the owner of an American company has to help you obtain the future that you so-called deserve. And they're just out there. Nothing. Look at these people.
Back to you! No! No!
You're breaking the law. Stopping traffic is against the law.
See, this is what I was saying yesterday or day before. I don't care if you stand on the sidewalk. I don't care if you stand there with your little placard and if you scream all you want, but you can't impede traffic. And right away, boom, he had to get off the street. You can't throw Molotov cocktails, can't break windows, definitely can't shoot up windows. You can do that till the cows come home. I don't think anybody cares. You could get out there every Saturday morning for the next 352 weeks and do it all you want. Nobody cares. Yes, you are entitled. You have a privilege of protesting, your First Amendment rights. But you know what? We have that same privilege, so we can look at things, what you're doing, and we can call it for what it is. You're being an idiot. That's nice. Doesn't it, as you're viewing this, doesn't it appear that the future of these people has already passed? That they are in the sunset of their careers and lives? It's kind of weird. What exactly are you protesting? I don't know if these people have been paid, but I'm going to freeze it on this one. Oops, excuse me. I couldn't get there in time, and it moved. Hold on. I want you to look at this sign right here. Okay. She has something about don't buy a swastika. The other one goes, Americans against oligarchy. I bet you, I don't know, 2 months ago, that woman couldn't have defined what oligarchy is. They don't know what they're talking about. All they know is that Doge is hurting Democrats, and it's rooting out corruption and rooting out fraud, and they don't like it whatsoever. Or the people who are orchestrating this don't like it. These people don't have a clue. None whatsoever. Most of these people probably don't work. Most of these people have already probably retired, and they've been told something, and they're just absolutely losing it. But in this country, you don't get to tell a business that you deserve something unless you want to go get a job with them. But I don't mind, and I predicted this, as long as you people stay on the sidewalk, I don't care what you do.
Or even bought a particular car. People on the left who bought Teslas when they thought it was cool and now hate Musk and can't find a buyer, they might be the next victim, after all. In truth, I have questions about hate crimes, because to me, every crime has an element of hate in it. But if we're going to have hate crimes on the books, and we most certainly do have them, this is one that should probably make the list. Got to fight fire with fire in this circumstance. Voting is a basic civil right, and the people who want to send a message through criminal acts designed to attack along political lines, they've got to be answered firmly. Treating them as everyday criminals misses the danger that such people represent to a free society and democracy.
Exactly. See, that's what they don't understand, and that's what I'm begging Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to do. Make an example of these people, the ones who want to do crazy stuff. The people who want to do crazy stuff are indeed domestic terrorists, and they need to be treated like domestic terrorists, regardless of how the media tries to euphemize things and say it's no big deal. It is a huge deal. We cannot, as a country, ever go back to the love protest, the summer of love after George Floyd. That's got to be over with. Merrick Garland, let it happen. Joe Biden, let it burn. Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel, people need to know you're not going to let it burn, and that people are going to go to jail, and they're going to go to jail for quite some time.
You probably know that Tesla Motors is named after Nikola Tesla, the great inventor. He was controversial in his era, had highly eccentric behavior, believed in unconventional ideas that many considered fantasies, and fought with the powerful Thomas Edison in the so-called War of the Currents, AC versus DC. But in time, many of his ideas won out. Today, Tesla, Nikola Tesla, is celebrated. If he were still around, he'd probably have new ideas and still be treated as a crackpot, which would be fine as long as they didn't destroy his inventions to show how they felt about him.
If you read the news, it feels like, Armageddon. So it's like, I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. And like, what's going on? Some people, it's like, listen, I understand if you don't want to buy our product, but you don't have to burn it down. That's a bit unreasonable, Like, like, this is psycho. Stop being psycho.
Stop being psycho. You don't realize you've been whipped into a frenzy by the media, by the Democrats, and you're looking stupid. You're looking criminal. You're going to ruin whatever life you had by being classified as a domestic terrorist. You can't continue to act this way. It just can't happen. And so, me, I hope some people smarten up. But in any event, this is so un-American, and why I'm showing this today is because I want to put my full support behind Elon Musk and Tesla. Not politically. I'm saying as an American business, no business deserves to be attacked, trashed, harassed, shot at. No American business deserves that whatsoever. And I think we all need to, every single one of you, get out there and support that cause. I know some people have a problem because he's a gazillionaire. That has nothing to do with it. He's a gazillionaire because he's been successful. But the minute these libnuts begin to intrude and feel they have the right to destroy an American business, then there's no stopping what will happen next. They won't stop at Tesla. It'll be your corner grocery store. It'll be your corner mechanic. You cannot allow thugs, criminals, to go out there and affect American business, because that is the precipice of communist.
If you read the news, it feels like, Armageddon. So it's like, I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. And like, what's going on? Some people, it's like, listen, I understand if you don't want to buy our product, but you don't have to burn it down. That's a bit unreasonable, Like, like, this is psycho. Stop being psycho.
Around the world, people are attacking Teslas. They've defaced them. They've shot at them. They've even thrown Molotov cocktails at them, proving that gasoline and Teslas don't mix. And sorry if you thought that joke was in bad taste, but at least I'm laughing. The crowd's reaction reminds me of those who cheered for Luigi Mangione after he was charged for the murder of a healthcare executive.
Meantime, this breaking news to share: demonstrators are gathered at a Tesla dealership in New York City to protest against Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Tesla stock is plummeting as frustration grows against Musk's role in the Trump administration. NBC's Maya Eaglin is joining me right from outside that protest. So, Maya, what brought folks...
Let me stop you before you talk to Maya out here, because you're an MSNBC anchor, and you lied. Straight up, unequivocal lie. What do you mean, Barry? Well, let me show you guys something, because obviously she didn't even bother checking. So I'm going to go to a full screen here so you guys can see it. But this is the chart on Tesla stock. You can see it for yourself right here. Nope, it didn't tank. It went down, and then it's way back up again. I hope you bought some. Hope you got some. If you want to go to the 5-day view, oh, look at that. This is when everything happened, and it tanked. You know what they call this? They call this a trend line. A trend line that shows going up. If you were lucky enough to buy at 223, you're up about 10% on your money right now. These people don't know what they're talking about. All they can do is lie. I wouldn't hope, unless you buy an option for, whatever, I'm not going to get into that, but I wouldn't hope for an American stock to fall. But if This thing dips, it's coming right back. And you can see it. It's coming right back. And so people are making money up, let's see, over the 5-day period. Up over the 5-day period, it's up 1.5%. Over the last couple days, it's up nearly 6%. 6% in a couple days. These people have no clue.
Today, what kind of pressure do they hope to inflict on Tesla?
Hey, Alex. Yeah, we are here in the meatpacking district of Manhattan.
Wait. What kind of pressure are they hoping to inflict on Tesla? Last time I checked, Tesla has no involvement with the government. What do you think Tesla is going to do? Man.
In New York City, if you look behind me, hundreds of people are out here right now outside this Tesla dealership with signs. They're chanting, there's drums, and this is being called a Tesla takedown. It's being organized by a group called the Action Network.
You ever notice that these organizers, all these fake organizations that these people supposedly work for, it's going to be pretty easy to find out where they get their money from. Because, I don't know, I'm thinking if I was doing a protest, I would like call a couple of my buddies, post on X, maybe on Facebook, maybe on Reddit. But I don't think I need an organization except, maybe we need to spend some money. That's where they're always going to get caught. Merrick Garland looked the other way. I hope Pam Bondi isn't.
They say their hope is to use their First Amendment rights of freedom of speech and freedom of protest to really explain to the public and educate the public of why they are disappointed in not only Elon Musk, but Doge and the dismantling of things like the Department of Education. The folks I spoke to said this is what they believe is the best way to communicate their disappointment with the government.
A couple hundred people in New York. This is they're trying to get a message out that they're upset with, Doge. I'm pretty sure it's 6:15, 6:20 here in South Florida, and nobody's paying attention to that. There are people out at festivals. There are people out shopping. The malls are packed. People are driving their Teslas and their Cybertrucks all around town. And the only reason this thing has become an issue is because you morons put it on television. Otherwise, most of us not in New York or not in some blue enclave, we'd never even hear about it.
I want you to take a listen to some more of what the protesters on the ground here had to say today.
I think it will show everyone that people have the power. People have to come out, they have to stand, they have to fight, and they have to fight for our democracy.
Next question, Miss Reporter, should have been, what are you fighting for?
If not, this government is being taken over by the oligarchy. Donald Trump and his rich...
Notice she's holding a sign where the N is kind of blocked out, but she's saying Nazis. Nazis. Nazis are taking over the government. Idiot.
Billionaire friends.
We're here today.
Like I said, look at these people. Look. Number one, they always have the glasses. The glasses will always reveal who they are. But and it looks like she hasn't been on the streets since, Jerry and the boys were doing the Grateful Dead tour or something. Look at this.
And a movement is growing around the country because Elon Musk is an unelected person in Washington right now. He doesn't have an office and he doesn't have a government email. So we can't.
So, another question I've been asking people is before Doge did what they did, who was running these various different agencies? I'll wait. Tell me if anyone who is running these agencies was elected. You keep saying that Elon wasn't elected. Who was running it before? Who was deciding, making decisions on what was going to happen, where money was going to be spent? Maybe the Wally of Nigerian, he wasn't elected. What are you talking about? None of them have run for election. None of them are elected by the people, ever. So what are these people even discussing?
Go there to talk to him about our issues and our concerns. So we have to show up at his point of business, and one of his places of business is Tesla.
Okay, so the reporter is remiss in her duties, because right then and there, you have the opportunity. We want to talk to Elon about our issues and concerns. What are they? It would go so much further as a newsroom, as a news network, to actually vocalize what the hell these people have an issue with. Other than hair and clothing.
So folks here are also encouraging people to sell their stocks, sell their Teslas, and just really withdraw and try to dismantle the reputation of Tesla in hopes of hitting Elon Musk where it hurts, in his pockets. Alex?
Okay, Maya Eaglin, thank you so much. Next, Field, and we begin.
I don't think these people know how to read a balance sheet. Hit Elon Musk where it hurts, in his pocket. Do you know how much hurt you'd have to put on Elon Musk? Do you realize you'd have to put him in like a Hellraiser torture chamber for him to even feel it? These people are morons. So the guy's worth $300 billion, and if he loses $100 billion, he's still at $200 billion. What do you mean? The people who are going to get hurt are the Americans who are working at that dealership. The men and women who sell the car, who repair the car. Those are the people who are going to get hurt. You know, the working class. The same people you seem to always want to talk about. But again, the constant refrain that I have is, what the hell do you want? And I don't understand why the media don't do your job. Tell us what it is these people have an issue with. But you're going to love this one.
And this hour with a warning from the FBI urging the public to be on alert for any signs of planned attacks against Tesla vehicles and property. It comes after multiple facilities have been targeted in recent months, with individuals setting fire to chargers, vehicles, and vandalizing buildings. The attacks began in January amid backlash over Tesla CEO Elon Musk's involvement with Doge and the department's efforts to shrink the federal government. CNN's Julia Vargas Jones has more.
Oh, that's the crime. Over their efforts to shrink the federal government. Oh, the horror of the Democrat Party not wanting you and me to save and keep more of our money. You understand what this is. The reason why I wanted to spotlight this tonight is because this is the Democrat Party. I mean, I just want to show you something. Look at the bottom here. The Democrats are relying on violence. This has nothing to do with these people in the street. This is everything to do with the Democrats. More and more people need to put that out there and get that message out there and let people in the independent realm understand this is a Democrat tactic. They are trying to intimidate an American business. They are trying to intimidate an American customer base. They are trying to do anything to stop Doge from exposing the fraud and corruption. That's what they're terrified of. They don't give a crap about any electronic cars. They love EVs. It's, oh my God, they're actually finding out what we've been doing, and they can't take it.
That's word incorrect. Of course, it's incorrect.
Rolling his Model Y back to factory settings. Joe Romer is a Tesla owner no more. A week ago, while covering a protest at a Tesla service center, we found Romer as he drove past the picket line.
I'm in the process of getting my car repaired so that I can sell it.
Today, he says a weight is lifted.
I feel better because I was getting to the point where this was being embarrassing driving this car because of Elon Musk and the things he's doing right now. And that just, I find annoying and not acceptable.
What things? You're a reporter. You're talking to somebody. He's speaking. All you have to say is a follow-up question. You're getting annoyed with what? Let's see. Will she do it?
Even though he's selling for less than a third of what he originally paid 4 years ago, Romer is not alone.
From our hub. You know what the second question I would ask him? What are you buying? I bet you he's going to be buying a gas-powered vehicle. Oh, great, Democrats. You see what you're doing? You're kind of like doing the opposite of your climate change thing. But I wanted to point it out so you can see that the media is in on all of this. Very simple question. What are your issues? Why is it that you people are afraid to ask that simple question? What are you bitching about? You're talking to the person.
We're picking up 8 Teslas today.
In 2025, thousands of Americans are breaking up with the automaker. Tesla cars from model year 2017 or newer made up 1.4% of all vehicles traded in through mid-March. That's more than triple the rate from this time last year, according to Edmunds data shared with Reuters. And some Tesla drivers are hiding in plain sight.
And then I just took my finger and I just pulled it off. It makes me feel like I'm...
This guy's a true moron. He's thinking if he takes the T logo off, people won't recognize that he's driving a Tesla. This is a brain child here, yeah.
Doing something.
Masking a Tesla costs almost nothing, but in the week Romer waited to sell, he got $800 less for the car.
There's always going to be opportunity to either do the right thing or at least signal that you're doing the right thing. But for most people, the average consumer, taking the hit on the depreciation of a relatively expensive electric car by selling it just to prove a point is not something that they're in the business of doing.
That's because they don't understand business. If you understood business, you would realize that this little exercise and protest that you're doing is actually making him more money. You see, he sold you the car, made a profit. Whatever repairs that you did, he had some aftermarket profit. The finance charges if you financed it through the dealership. And now you're selling it at a loss. You are selling it at a loss, not the dealership. They already made their money. And so now it's like you paid, I'll just use easy math, $10,000 and you're selling it for $8,000. You lost money, bozo. And then what do you think's going to happen with that car you turned in? Now they're going to sell it again. And they're going to make money a second time because that's how business works. Moron, they already built the profit in when they offered you the price on the trade-in. They're getting to sell the same car twice. I remember doing that in real estate. Buy a house, finance a house, sell the house, foreclose on the house, sell it again. Wow. No, I guess these people just completely missed economics.
Protests continue at dealerships across the country, and some Tesla properties have become targets, torched with Molotov cocktails, shot at, and defaced. And all this comes as Tesla faces new headaches, including potential import tariff woes and recalls after Cybertruck panels have been reportedly falling off. The stock price has also plunged. That has liberals cheering.
Okay, hold on a second. I got to show you this because you want to see misrepresentation, hold on, let's look at
recalls after Cybertruck panels have been reportedly falling off.
Okay, so they're quoting the stock price in December of 2024. And this is before all this crap started happening.
Stock price has also plunged. That has liberals cheering.
And she's comparing it to that, obviously not understanding how stock works. Let me ask you a question. You ready for this? What do you think Elon Musk paid for the Tesla stock? Anybody have an idea what Elon Musk paid for, the 12 or 13% of stock that he owns? Who do you think's getting hurt? Seriously. I can tell you what Elon Musk paid for his stock. Nothing. It was his stock. So everything above zero is a profit for Elon Musk. Everybody else who bought in is seeing, depending on where you bought in, if you bought in at, 50, you're still sitting good. You bought in at 80, you're still sitting good. You bought in at 479, you're hurt. And guess what? The people who bought at 479.86, that ain't Elon. You're hurting American and foreign investors. It's like these people have no idea about business. None. Especially this guy.
You've got that little stock out. I added Tesla to give me a little boost during the day.
And the Trump administration
Did you notice how they forgot to add something to that story about Tim Waltz laughing at the Tesla stock had fallen? He's a bozo. He's an absolute moron. He is public enemy number one for investing and understanding, promulgating wealth. He's the governor of Minnesota. Minnesota has a crap ton of money in their company pension plan for the state of Minnesota in Tesla. So again, it's not Elon who's getting hurt. It's people. Your pension plan, if you're in Minnesota, is based upon Tesla stock. And he's pushing it downwards. You don't have to have a brain surgeon mentality to understand these people have no clue what the hell they're talking about.
unprecedented steps to defend the company.
On stage.
On Thursday, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced charges against 3 people accused of destroying Tesla property in Oregon, Colorado, and South Carolina. If convicted, each faces a minimum of 5 years and up to...
Remember this segment right here. They've already arrested these 3 people, and each one of them faces 5 to 20 years. I want you to remember that for what's coming up. Very important.
20 behind bars. And on Friday, President Trump comparing attacks on Tesla facilities to the January 6th insurrection.
Well, I view these people as terrorists just like others. When I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not 1 or 2, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th.
All of them.
Was that a comparison? Did you hear what she said? I wanted you to hear that. She said President Trump compared what they went through with January 6th. He said it wasn't like January 6th. The media lies. I mean, openly. Here, let me let you hear that again, where she absolutely, completely, unequivocally lied in what she was talking about. Listen to this. Listen to it again.
On Friday, President Trump comparing attacks on Tesla facilities to the January 6th insurrection.
Well, I view these people as terrorists just like others. When I looked at those showrooms burning and those cars, not 1 or 2, like 7, 8, 10 burning, exploding all over the place. These are terrorists. You didn't have that on January 6th.
All of that.
You heard it. She said that he compared it to January 6th, and what he did, and his actual words were, it wasn't like January 6th, where, nobody was burning up anything. They lied. And by the way, they keep calling it an insurrection.
Going too far for Romer.
It is done.
How do you feel?
Better.
Better?
Happy.
And more people that agree with Romer are expected to be here today, Fred. This is a dealership in Pasadena, California. They are boarded up. They boarded up their front door. We saw people here a couple weeks ago as well. And look, these protests continue to grow. The people that we speak to here, they have said to us that they want to send a message to the administration that they don't believe Elon Musk should be so involved in the politics of the country. He wasn't elected. That has been the resounding...
It was the resounding thing. He wasn't elected. Did you have a chance to ask any of them who was running this stuff that was, elected? Since that's what their big deal is. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they think somebody was running these agencies beforehand and each one of those people were elected. It's your job as a reporter. You've got the information. Why don't you tell them? You do realize, sir, that the person running all these agencies before Elon Musk came in, they weren't elected. Did you know that? Oh, I didn't know that. Do you understand that none of these agencies had an elected official at the helm? Do you understand that? Oh, no, nobody's told us that. Wow.
message from these people. And the question is, will that message be actually heard by the administration, or will they continue to double down? Fred.
All right. Julia Vargas Jones, thanks so much.
Elon Musk is trying to be the real-life Tony Stark, and we can see him coming a mile away. We don't trust Elon Musk. That's why the American people are up in arms.
See the broad brushes that these people paint with? We don't trust Elon Musk. The American people don't trust Elon Musk. Who have you been talking to? Failed politician. This is, the fire alarm guy who got booted out of Congress is telling people what they're not, they don't trust.
In protests and in town halls in Republican districts across the country, they are pissed off based on what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing, firing tens of thousands of workers only for the courts to reverse the firing. This is absolutely a conflict of interest.
All right, so I have to keep stopping things because when they lie like this, I need to be able to explain it to you. There's not a single court that did what he said. The temporary restraining orders, the TROs, are merely way stations of the lawsuit. They have temporarily restrained and enjoined the Trump administration from doing X, Y, or Z. They did not say that Trump was wrong. They did not reverse it. They just said right now, until these cases go through the entirety of the court process, which may take 5 years, we're going to let it stay as it is. However, what he doesn't say is Trump's not playing along. I don't know if you know that. He's not playing along with this stuff as of yet.
But the Trump administration and Elon Musk, they don't care. Elon is trying to be the first trillionaire, and he wants to be an oligarch that not just controls American governments, he wants to control world government. Elon Musk used a Nazi sign.
Two problems with this. One, what he's saying, and more importantly, CNN's letting him say it.
At the inauguration, this is what we're dealing with this administration. There's an agenda to support and uphold white supremacy. That's not true. And this shows, again, the American people do not trust Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people. It was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. He's a Nazi, and people don't trust him. Period.
Devolving into this fetish, this cult, this hatred against Elon Musk. I don't know.
It's none of this.
Yes, it is. Yes, because every single thing about Elon Musk has now resulted.
It is indeed a cult, and I'm pretty sure that Bowman there is going to end up in a place where he doesn't want to be. This came out this morning. Jamal Bowman just called Elon Musk an incompetent thief and a Nazi on CNN. It's a lawsuit waiting to happen. We don't have to wait too long because today or yesterday, Elon Musk said, "I've had enough." The lawsuit is inbound. That's when I got to click this. The lawfare that the Democrats have been waging on America has to be turned around on them. They need to be sued into oblivion. They need to bankrupt these people who think they're okay going on television and calling somebody an incompetent thief and a Nazi. That's 100% defamation. There is a defense to defamation. The absolute defense to defamation is truth. He's not incompetent, he's not a thief, and he's definitely not a Nazi. So guess what, Jamal Bowman? Lawyer up and preserve your records. You're about to be sued in an epic, epic way. And I can't wait to see you lose every dime that you have.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
that little break gives me a chance to get a swig of drink, stand up, walk around, do some things, and then come back here and look at text from SV. What's SV say here? Let me just make sure. But in any event, I just want. There's more. That I just took a break. And then we're gonna look at some comments here and then come back. They haven't gotten away with lying with it for so long. Exactly. And it's absolutely ridiculous. Sure is. Hopefully, Bowman doesn't have any money, so I don't know how much he's going to be able to pay. But he's going to pay up whatever his great Trump ad. Oh, by the way, just so you guys didn't know, that wasn't just some golf course. That just wasn't some hooty-tooty golf course. That was Trump Doral down here in Miami. So, I didn't want anyone to think that I was promoting something that was hotsy-totsy or out of reach. That was specifically, and I'm going to be doing a lot of that in terms of exchanging, the different breaks for me with featuring Trump properties. I think I'm going to do one about Mar-a-Lago as well. Trump is a sponsor. Nope, that's not a sponsorship. That's just a break in the action so I can regroup and continue and come back and figure out what I'm going to do for the next segment and talk to you guys. SV goes, that's an awesome course. There's some people who say that is one of the best golf courses out there. He should sue CNN as well for allowing to comment. I believe that. I believe he should sue all of them. Make them fight it out. The same way the lawfare, turn it around on them. Absolutely. The Doral, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's one of his properties, and I've got videos on like 20 of his properties that I'm going to be rotating in there. Whew, they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Barry, please keep a copy of this idiot because they will destroy the proof. Yeah, that was one of the reasons. I'm sure, put it this way, I'm sure Elon already downloaded it as well. You go on television and call somebody a Nazi, incompetent, and a thief? Think about that. Think about the audacity of someone else who's been charged with a crime, but because he was in Congress, they let it go. You can't pull a fire alarm. That's what that dude did. It's crazy. Man, it's I paid $1 million in hard labor for a modest 2-bedroom because Obama allowed propaganda. That ain't going to work for Bowman. It's not going to work. Not at all. Yeah, dude, flat out called him a Nazi. Absolutely, he did. And it's going to continue until somebody stops it. They are going to keep doing it because all of this, in case you're wondering, what is the purpose of all this? Utter desperation. That's the problem. Utter desperation. They have no leader. They have no platform. They have nothing the American people want. And so right now, they're fighting for their very survival. And when you put an animal into a corner, they're going to fight their hardest to survive. So that's kind of why I believe Donald Trump expected this, because when you got these people backed up against the wall like this, they're going to fight. I mean, they have to. I mean, I didn't know they would resort to calling people Nazis. But anyway, all right, let's continue with this.
Politicians. So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes. Listen, I have learned as I serve on the Doge Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now. And that language is money. And so I've been so proud to see us organized behind a cause.
Yeah, Musk.
Next week, I believe, Ashley would have to confirm this, but next week, I believe we have her upcoming opponent on in an interview. Because Dallas, I don't know what the heck you did. How did you put this hood rat into office? It doesn't make any sense. I hope this challenger can beat the pants off of her, and I'm hoping people in Dallas aren't stupid enough to put her back in office. I mean, it's beyond the pale. It's crazy.
Been retweeting posts saying things like 3 out of the 4 people arrested are trans or non-gender conforming. Now, there are claims circulating online that some of the people who have been arrested are trans or non-binary, and people are taking this off of social media accounts. We have not confirmed this ourselves, and authorities have not confirmed anything about this.
She lied. They are so in the tank for the Transformers, they don't even want to say it on CNN. Oh, we don't know who it is. I mean, there's been some stuff on social media, but the police haven't, done anything. You mean the people who take mugshots when they arrest people? Those people haven't confirmed anything. Where the hell did you look, honey? Again, a lying media representative, a parrot. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find some of these people who have, social media is blaming it on them. Oh, here's one. Leftist in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, was arrested on March 14th. You mean you can't confirm that? For allegedly attacking a newly constructed Tesla center near Chicago. Aaron White has been charged with felony criminal damage to property and criminal trespass. Oh, that's why you can't confirm it, because looky. It was a Transformer. White is at least the 3rd known arrested you-know-what who has allegedly attacked Tesla property recently following calls for leftists for domestic terror attacks as revenge against Elon Musk. Nah. Sorry, CNN. It was too easy. Oh, wait a minute. I got another one. Oh. Activist Adam Matthew Lansky, I can't say the words because they'd be mad at me, was arrested for allegedly firebombing and shooting up a Tesla dealership in Salem, Oregon. And there he is. She, whatever, it. I don't know. Yeah. Kind of hard for CNN to do their work, though. Hey, we can't confirm it. How about looking? Maybe that would be the easiest thing. Look. Oh, we got one more for you. More. The person arrested for the vandalization and attempted arson of a Tesla dealership in Colorado is that. The media are all referring to him as this. And there is that person. Oh, wait a minute. There's a police report about this one, Miss CNN. Loveland Police Department in Colorado announced that they have arrested that for the alleged repeated vandalization attempted arson of the Loveland Tesla dealership. There's the press release. You couldn't verify it? You didn't look. Man, these people lie really, really well, don't they? Oh, we couldn't verify it, That's because you didn't look. It literally took me about, 8 minutes. You know what I put in as my search criteria? Transformer, but the real word, Transformer Tesla dealership. It came right up. And the police department. So you can go, I'm not going to do your job for you, but you're lying.
Gender identity, and what Musk is doing, as he often does, he's just seeing things crossing his timeline and he retweets them and he posts them without seemingly doing much research, even though he is sitting at the White House and he could probably get the best stats and research on what's happening. He also, though, began reposting claims that trans people are more violent than non-trans people. But here is a fact. Trans people are more than 4 times as likely to be victims of violent crime.
I think go back to point 1.
Hold on. You were so enamored with them that you had to try and make it as though they're the victims. Man, this world is... There's 3 of them arrested. 3 of them. And they don't want Americans to know the truth. Elon Musk is bad. He's calling out the Transformers. But they're the ones doing it. I mean, it's right there. It's that one. And it's this one. And it's this one. We're not making it up. It's actually right in front of you. These are the people who are doing the stuff at Tesla dealerships. And there's nothing you can change from the truth. This one actually has a police report attached to it. You can see Susie Cusey Woozy, and then right here is the police report, a press release from the Loveland Police Department. You are not a journalist. You are a propagandist. You are doing everything you can to propagandize the American people and gaslight them into thinking this shit is normal. Man.
When you set a car on fire, you should go to jail. You're a criminal.
Any car,
I don't think we have to talk about it in any other context. Yeah. And all those cars have cameras in them, and those dealerships have cameras. You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and you now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison. If they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch, they will have no parole, no shortened sentence. They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Breaking in, shooting a car, setting on fire, nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with Tesla. You are a criminal, and you should go
what about the broader
to
question
jail.
about the...
No, there is no broader question, Abby. Stop gaslighting people. If you light property on fire, if you throw Molotov cocktails, if you shoot towards a business, I don't care what business it is, you are exhibiting the very definition of terrorist. There is no broader scope of this. You cannot euphemize this at all. There are a round table of people there, most of them liberals. They cannot admit this is wrong. How can you euphemize this? This is wrong, period. Only other thing you can do, and maybe this is the defense, is say these people are whacked. Finally, let's see if they go into court after being arrested on terrorism charges. Do we finally hear the truth? See, that's one of the things I think they're terrified of. Because if they got these people on film doing this crazy stuff, there's one video I wanted to show you, but I figured they wouldn't like it, where there's a guy walking between a Cybertruck and another car who reaches into his own butt stroke, into his own butt, and pulls out poop out of his butt and wipes it on the car. I swear to God, I just couldn't show it to you. But he's walking and he sticks his hand up his rear end and wipes it on the car. On camera. In addition to, all the DNA he left on the car. Yeah. What kind of person sticks their hand up their butt, pulls out something, and wipes it on another car? So maybe what the defense is going to be is these people are whacked. And they don't want that to be the case. If for some reason people start finding out that the reason why these people acted out is because they're batshit crazy. Because many of us, we're pretty much thinking it already. And now you're starting to exhibit it. And they've got you dead to rights on film. So what's your defense going to be? I just want to sit back and wait. Get me a drink and a muffin. I can't have the muffin anymore. I'd love to see that. You tell me. What's your defense, Nelly or Nelson? What are you going to say? Because as soon as they start saying that, as soon as they start falling on that sword and going, it all falls apart. It all just starts falling apart. And we're like, we told you. We told you. So no, Abby, There is no broader scope.
The protest factor. I mean, you heard
What
Tim Walz.
protest? You're a criminal.
I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in the state.
I mean,
that's their investment fund.
Point,
what a bozo.
The minute.
To your point, I opened up the door here, and Kevin O'Leary's like getting ready to step on my head. These people are insane. I cannot believe that Tim Walz tried to do a comedy routine and said, look, I look at this thing and I just get so happy when the Tesla stock goes down, and the people in the audience are clapping like trained seals, knowing it's their money. It's not Elon's money. You're not hurting him. You people, that's a whole nother level of ignorant. That's being ignorant to like the, exponentially ignorant. I talk to you guys a lot about buying gold and silver. And I'm going to change my ad. I'm going to change it completely because I've been convicted. Many of you have bought gold and silver and are looking at it from a hedge, but I found the investment angle on this, and it's for my grandkids. Remember when we all used to buy savings bonds or having saving bonds bought for us, and we were little kids, and you hope by the year 2025 that savings bond you could cash in and your kids could like buy a house with it. Oh boy, did that ship sail. But by buying them silver and gold and have it sit in a vault somewhere, by the time they're 20 and 21, they indeed could buy a house with it. And it's nothing right now. I mean, literally, you can start. You don't have to buy a full ounce at $3,000. You can start small, and then by the time 10 years from now, and if they got it in a safe, it could be worth quite a bit of money. Think about it. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But with everything we're seeing right now, don't take your eye off the ball. Things could get much worse before they get better. With the possibility of World War III still looming, and with the Democrats doing everything they can to impede Trump, you still need to keep your guard up and your money protected. Oh, and our national debt is still massively increasing. Don't get me wrong, I have high hopes for Trump's America, but I also have a family to look out for. You see, Trump and the Avengers have quite the uphill battle ahead. That's why I'm making sure I'm protected, and I'm recommending that you do the same. One way to be protected is by diversifying your portfolio. That's why on this channel I've been happy to partner with Lear Capital. As you know, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time, and although I dabbled in gold and silver, Kevin and his staff at Lear have helped to educate me even further, especially in regards to silver. Give Lear a call today and they'll show you how easy it is to move some of your savings or your retirement account into gold and silver. Gold and silver have been proven to hold value and protect wealth for the long term. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com to get your free gold and silver wealth protection guides. There's no obligation, just free information. Many of you have seen my interviews with Lear founder Kevin Demerit, and I can tell you this company is solid and likes to educate their customers. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, and over $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase. You don't pay unless you're 100% satisfied. So call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you call, don't forget to ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold or silver with a qualifying purchase. So if you'd like to take advantage of this opportunity, please call my friends at Lear Capital at 800-601-5430 and tell them Barry sent you. All right, everybody, I'm going to move on to a different format with the 10 spot, as I've been calling it. I'm going to rebrand that, and that's actually going to be a big meat and potatoes part of what we do. So buckle up.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
There are those who believe that we are, in real time, living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges, judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump.
You hear that? See, that was very interesting. He said the quiet part out loud. See, you Republicans in Congress got had. They were trying to put something together as a safeguard to have their insurance in case Dementia Joe lost or in case Kamala Harris whiffed. And what did he just say? They put in over 200 judges. Put them in place like sleeper cells, just in case it got to the point where they would need to activate them to take down the Trump administration. These people are evil personified. Their forethought wasn't to ever work in the realm of helping the American people. They weren't ever going to recognize this so-called mandate. Everything that they wanted to do was to destroy America, and if they couldn't do it, at least pause everything until Trump gets out of office, and let's make sure that nothing he wants to do ever gets effected. That was their plan. Now you're seeing it actually play out. And Schumer here was stupid enough to tell you, yeah, we planned this a long time ago. We're going to go get these 200 judges put in place. The Republicans, they didn't even know. They're going to act like the Washington Generals and nod along, and they're going to approve all these judges. And they're just going to lay there, and they're going to wait, and they're going to bide their time on some stupid cases, and they're going to wait till President Trump starts doing things. And guess what? We already know who they are, so we're going to run to every single one of them every time Trump does something so that we can get them to try and nullify it. Why? Because we know the Democrat Party is flipping useless.
Time after time after time. And we hope that the appellate courts, when it gets up there in the Supreme Court, will uphold those rulings. They restored the money to NIH. They required that 8,000 federal employees have to come back. We're in over 100 lawsuits against them, and we are having a good deal of success. It's only at the lower court level right now.
Yes, it's only at the lower court level right now, because that's what you guys were able to do. You were able to put all these crazy district court judges in to do everything you wanted to do. Notice what he said. We've stopped all this. We did all this. We have 100 lawsuits. Notice what the leader of the Senate on the Democrat side didn't say. He didn't say he was reaching across the aisle to John Thune and seeing what we could find agreement on. They've completely abdicated. They don't care what happens with America. The entirety of their strategy at this point is to take down and stop Donald Trump. The rest be damned. We don't care. You thought we had an American government. I've told you we're in a civil war. Schumer just confirmed it. They are doing everything they can to make sure that there are no advancements done in the Trump administration to the best of their ability. And whatever they can't stop, they're going to hope to slow down to the point where there's another election and they can say Trump failed and Trump did this, and he couldn't keep his promises. Because people aren't going to listen to the truth. Hey, you put the speed bumps in his way. You did everything to muck up the gears here. That is their only strategy. He just admitted it. You need to know that. You need to know that. Make sure you talk about it, because that's all they have right now. Independents need to know that. There is no opposition political party. Only the courts. And they're going to just use these courts to the best of their ability because they got nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing.
Number 9.
You know, we have a lot of the campaign rhetoric speaking of what people say they would do. You've seen the Trump campaign talking about mass deportations. We tested that in a general way in principle. Would you?
Now, understand, he was mentioning the campaign because I want you to pay attention to these numbers. This was in June of 2024. This was back when, I don't know if, Kamala wasn't on the scene yet. It was Biden. And they were running for president. And in June of 2024, 62% of registered voters, that's all voters, Democrats and Republicans, 62% said all of the newcomers have to go. National program to deport all undocumented immigrants. 62% said go away. Now this was, I'm going to tell you again, this was June of 2024. June of 2024. Got it? Okay, and it was 62%, right? All right. Watch.
Support a new government program that would deport all people living in the U.S. illegally. And that finds majority favor. That finds 6 in 10. It's strongest among folks who are MAGA. It's strongest among Trump supporters, but also from some Democrats as well. And I think that speaks to the general idea, not just that people see the border as a crisis, but also where we are in the campaign, where a lot of very dramatic or new proposals out there are finding favor here.
Now, you have to realize at this point that if that was the number in June of 2024, the Democrats already knew that immigration was a losing issue. It was toast. Now, after the election, you have found out that all the polls in regards to who was winning were all false. She never had a shot. Never had a shot. One of those reasons was because everybody, I won't say everybody, I shouldn't say that, the majority of people in America wanted the newcomers deported. And they kept pretending like, hey, there's nothing we can do. Oh, send me a bill. Oh, we need more money. And then Trump shuts it off after like 2 months. So you would think at this point, seeing all the protests, seeing all the Democrats screaming that, going into a year later, maybe at this point people think Trump was full of it and that the number went down from 62%, right? Okay.
Percent, according to the latest Fox News poll, say that they favor deporting those immigrants. So that's a pretty high number. Can you square?
I'd say, funny you didn't put a snapshot and show it. It actually went up. It actually went up. You had 62% said get rid of them back in June, and 63% of people are like, get them out. It's getting more and more favor amongst the American people. The Democrats can't believe it. Like, wait a minute, it didn't go down? People actually want these people gone? Yes. The Democrats have nothing. Nothing. All of the pillars that they thought they had, people don't want. They just don't understand it, which is why they're basically waving the white flag and giving it to the court system.
That with what we just heard from Priscilla's reporting?
Yeah, I think that obviously the president has kind of blanketed the airwaves with saying that all of these people deported are criminals. And given the fact that we, reporters like Priscilla, we have very limited information to who exactly has been deported, the government.
So if you have very limited information, shut up. You're making yourself look stupid. You're raising the possibility of there's been bad people who shouldn't have been deported, but at the same time, you're like, I don't even know. I don't have access to the information. So why would you be given a report?
Has not handed over names. I know CBS got a hold of a list of names, but that hasn't been provided to those who are asking for who was actually deported. And there is a difference between someone who came into the country illegally versus someone who overstayed their visa. That's not a crime, versus someone who has no criminal record, no criminal history. Mm-hmm. And based on my reporting, based on clearly Priscilla's reporting, there are some Venezuelan nationals whose family members, whose lawyers say that they were deported, who have no criminal record, who have no...
They like to obfuscate and talk. Do you remember what the question in the poll was? The question in the poll wasn't, do you think Trump's making some mistakes? Do you think there's certain people being deported who shouldn't be deported? No. Question was pretty simple. Should all newcomers be deported? 63% of people said yes. What the hell are you talking about? Well, this person may not should have been, and this person might have been on a different... That's not what they asked you. You're trying to deflect when the thing is right in front of you. The numbers that Dana Bash are telling you, you're not addressing that. The majority of the population want these people gone, and you're dancing around some stupid ideological virtue signaling dance.
Criminal history, that they legally applied for asylum or were trying to gain status, where some of them were in the middle of proceedings, and then they were deported.
Number 8.
I just can't with these people. They're actually on television. And I feel sorry sometimes for the hosts who have to deal with this crap. And they just make stuff up. Yeah, they're sitting for asylum and they got passed over. That's not what the topic was. Hey, little lady with the dark hair, do you understand that 63% of Americans want the newcomers taken out? Can we agree on that? Because that's what I'm talking about. Everything else beyond that doesn't really matter. If there's mistakes made, we'll go ahead and look at rectifying them. But you understand this is what Americans want. The problem is they're absolutely shocked. The problem is they can't understand because they're in their little bubble in their little studios where everybody feels the same way. And they're like, how can they possibly want the newcomers gone? We want them gone. Yes, we understand there might be some mistakes made along the way, but the effort is to get them out of here. Deal with it or not. And those of you who understand that's what we want, you're going to love this next segment.
Police departments in South Florida are signing cooperation agreements to be deputized as ICE. When I keep thinking, okay,
this is going to be
going to change the way folks. They're gleeful. Everybody I know who voted for Trump is gleeful and supportive of everything he's doing.
It's a shock to them. I mean, they're going to deputize people in Florida to help get rid of the newcomers, and the people who voted for Trump are gleeful. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, Anna. That's because he's doing what we want him to do. That's because that's what we wanted to see happen. So, of course, we're gleeful. Like, that's wrong. Like, we shouldn't be happy that he's actually keeping promises. The left is shocked. Like, oh my God, we haven't convinced people that Trump's, a Nazi? Nope. We haven't convinced people that everything Trump's doing with these newcomers is wrong, immoral? Nope. We're out. Ooh. And she can't understand it. She's down here in a heavily Latin area in South Florida. She's like, I'm here in Miami. And I would think with everything going on, the people in Miami would be like, oh my God, oh my God. And meanwhile, it's just the opposite. They don't know what to do. Excuse me. They can't figure it out. They can't figure it out because there is no joy on the left. All they do is protest and complain, and she actually went on a talk show and said to the guy sitting there, they're all gleeful. Oh my God, they're happy. Yes! Why is that so hard to understand? Why don't you understand? We are very happy. The more you get out, the better it feels to us. The more you fight and rip up all these agencies, the more we're gleeful. That's what we want. You see, what's happening right now is Democrats, even the hardcore Democrats, are starting to realize, oh shit, this is really happening, isn't it? Yeah, it's happening. And all we got is these courts, right? Yeah, that's all you got. So what do? Pray that Trump listens to these people. Pray at this point. Here's what you're going to hear, by the way. Here's what you're going to hear. You're going to begin hearing in the news a ton about Trump having to listen to these judges. Their biggest fear at this point is that he tells these judges to go pound sand. Because this is the last stand. There is nothing else behind them. Grasp this. This is so important for you to understand. The Democrats are done. They don't understand what's happening. They can't gauge that we're gleeful and happy. And we're right there. We're on the precipice of a huge victory. We can taste it. We're drooling. We're like, oh man, do it. And all they have are these crazy judges sitting there going, oh, you can't do it. You can't do it. And as much as they know, they're trying to tell you, oh, it would be a constitutional crisis. If Trump says, screw you, you're a lower level judge, you can't stop me, they're done. I want you to understand that. They are done. The only thing stopping Trump from complete annihilation of the Democrat Party is Trump. Whatever move he decides to make, it's Trump's move to make. There's nothing they can do. I mean, you're probably thinking to yourself, Barry, what do you mean there's nothing they can do? Nothing. If he tells this judge to go pound sand, tells that judge to go pound sand, and just keeps moving forward, there's nothing they can do. Barry, why do you keep saying that? I've said it before. Who are they going to call? There's no number they can call. There's nobody they can text who's going to do the opposite of what Trump wants. They can call the U.S. Marshals. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry, no one's home. Can't call the FBI. Hey, hi, this is Kash Patel. Eat me. Can't call Department of Justice. Hi, this is Pam Bondi. Guess what? I was appointed too. Bye. So at that point, you can't call the military. Hi, this is Pete Hegseth. I'm having a drink. You know, your guy you think was drunk all the time? F you. They're done. The only thing stopping Trump from complete annihilation of the Democrat Party right now is Donald Trump. I am anxious to see what the move is going to be, but something, I don't know what, something is about to happen. I think he's given the Supreme Court as much time as he's going to give them. We are very close for him just saying, go away. Go away. I'm not going to listen to you. These people are all fired. This money has stopped. We're not going to send anything. And guess what? You can't make me. And then, you know, they're going to scream bloody murder on television about it being the constitutional crisis that they wanted anyway. They put the judges in place to be their roadblock. If Trump runs over the roadblock, it's smooth sailing ahead. There's nothing they can do. I want you to understand that. And more than understand it, I want you to be prepared for it. Because at that point, the media is going to lose it. Every pundit, every person on television is going to say we've got a dictator, an authoritarian, and Nancy. They're going to say everything. No one has ever done this. This is the worst thing ever for the country. And what's really going to happen, though, is because people are going to sit back and go, hey, this is actually working, isn't it? Yeah. You're saving money? Yeah, we're saving money. Grocery prices are down? Yeah. I never knew a Nazi could help me. See, they're going to make all of the ruckus that they possibly can. They're going to go out in the streets and they're going to do whatever they can, but it won't matter. The money's not going out. The people aren't going to go back to work. Everything is going to be what he wants. Sorry, that's what it's going to be. You thought you had him checkmated with these judges? Did you? Because you didn't think he was going to push forward. Be ready for that. You have to be mentally ready for what's coming, because I think it's coming.
Number 7.
Oh, please. Listen, at what point are you going to realize that people know who Trump is and what he is and what he has done? They're not electing him to be their daddy or to date their mom or to take care of their kid or to be in business with them. They are picking him to be a disruptor of a system that they are more concerned about than any of his personal foibles.
So I want to ask you, isn't that true? I mean, we elected someone, I like him, but there are many people who don't like him and they held their nose and said, fix it. Who's looking to walk up to the front door and just kick it in. And he's willing, obviously, to take the shots. And he's willing to make sure Washington is torn apart and never allowed to do what it's been doing to us for so long. He's willing to be that person. I don't care if he slept with porn stars, none of my business. I don't care any of the stuff he's done. If he can make that happen, why do I care what he's done with Stormy Daniels or this person or that person? You're here to help America. I'm not a marriage counselor. I can't help you with all that. If Melania's still there, then that's fine with me. But I'm here for you to do battle, put your gloves on, and go after these people head on. So Chris Cuomo, I don't know if he found Jesus after he got kicked off of CNN, but he's absolutely right. And what he's responding to here is somebody called into his show and said, you're just trying to make nice with Trump. It's like, I'm just telling you how it is.
Don't you get it? I'm not saying washing him. Who criticizes Trump more than I have? Come on with my platform. Give me a break. I'm one of the only anchors in the media who will tell you outright, personally, I've had beef with him for calling me an enemy of the state and making life hard for my wife and my kids. I had to move because of that bullshit. And he knew about it and he continued doing it anyway. That's my beef.
That's the guy you have as president. I'm going to keep doing it. And Chris Cuomo found it out. You're not going to stop this guy. You know, I called him out. I told him this, and he kept doing it. So you think some weasel-looking judge, Boaz Burger, is going to stop Trump from doing what he wants to do? The only thing that's going to stop Trump is you. If you start complaining, if you start saying, hey, I don't think we should do this, I think it's hurting our democracy. At this point, you need to put on your big boy and big girl pants and say, this is what I've chosen. You need to do your best Hiram Roth imitation at this point. If you don't know who Hiram Roth is, go back and watch The Godfather. Godfather 2. This is the business we've chosen. This is the guy we've chosen. This is the man we've chosen. We said, and he said it for months, I am going to obliterate the deep state. What did you think that meant? What the Democrats obviously knew. That's why they put all those judges in place, just in case. But we're watching the obliteration of the deep state. And we're watching the deep state fight back. And the only thing that's going to take Trump down at this point is for people to lose faith in him. You cannot afford to lose faith in Trump right now. In fact, your faith has to grow, and you have to talk about it even more. You see, they've diverted now, and they're talking about Elon, and they're attacking him because they don't want people to see what Trump is doing. They can burn up dealerships, and they can do this and do that. It's going to take your eye off, oh, what's he doing here? Oh, he's moving ahead, and he keeps going. When I listened to Stephen Miller talk, when I heard Carolyn Levis, it was amazing to me. I asked, who did I ask? Monica yesterday, or it was the day before yesterday, whenever it was. I said, it's kind of hard when she said, we're going to uphold the law, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Because he's got a different version of the law he's upholding, not yours. I'm going to uphold the law. Yeah, I know what the law is. and your biggest mistake, Democrats, was putting this man through 195 injunction grand jury indictments. That was your biggest mistake. He realized what the other side looks like. And this time it doesn't cost him anything to, defend himself. He's the president. So you know what? I'm just going to go right through you people because that's what you people wanted. So I hope that's what you're ready for.
But I still cover him fairly. Why? Because I care more about the people who voted for him and that he is now in control of again, in terms of our collective fate, than I do my personal problem with him. It's not the job to just judge people on the basis of how I feel about them. It's about what they mean in society and what the issues are for the collective, not just me. I'm not saying washing Trump. I'm not now a Trumper. I haven't been red-pilled. It's all bullshit. But I got to be hopeful that he does better this time. I want good things for the country. I want progress.
See, that's where the big chasm, split in the road comes. Chris Cuomo, he likes money. He likes the trappings of money. He enjoys life. His family has always enjoyed life. Like, I want the country to do well because he's got investments, I'm sure. He's not one of these purple-haired nuts. He doesn't want to be a communist. No, I don't want to be a communist. Dude has a house in the Hamptons. No, I'm doing well. I want to continue to do well. I was on a left-leaning network, but I'm not a commie and I'm not a Marxist. The problem is he was talking to commies and Marxists, and they can't understand. What do you mean? What do you mean you hope he does well? Yeah, I'm an American. I'm an American from a very wealthy family. I'm not interested in your communist manifesto. I want America to do well. And you know what? I won't lose any sleep if trainees can't be in the military. I won't lose any sleep if somehow, baby removal is repealed. You clutch your damn pearls. I'm going to keep living my life. See, those are the Democrats who don't like Trump, but realize, let me pull the lever because I'm an American. And I'm not in all this craziness. I don't care whether, 60 people get deported. I'm still going to live my life with my wife, my children, and my family. I have a family. I have property. I have investments. I'm not like you people. And that's what he's telling them.
Don't you?
Number 6.
A lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their right to do that and their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state.
I don't know if just calling her ugly caused her to lose her bananas, but something broke in Rosie O'Donnell. Something broke with Keith Olbermann. I mean, simply just broke them. What you're about to hear is probably one of the most nonsensical 2 minutes I've heard in regards to President Trump. She cannot believe that he won all the swing states. Again, when you live in that bubble and all you talk to are people in that bubble, you can't understand how real Americans feel. And that bubble hypnotized her.
And is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So,
let me ask Grok who owns the internet, because I really don't have to look, but I'm pretty sure Elon Musk doesn't own the internet. Clown show, crazy person. This person raises kids. This person is a parent of some sort. And she's saying that Elon owns the internet. Matter of fact, Rosie, I thought Al Gore invented the internet. How does Elon Musk own the internet?
I would hope that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that.
Wow. Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums, and Donald Trump wasn't doing that. Man, whatever deep recesses of her brain she collapsed into, it's not healthy. I mean, the talk show host here should have taken her off to the side and said, would you like some help? Would you like me to have someone come see you? Because what I'm seeing is complete neurological breakdown. In fact, you're bordering on Britney Spears-ish. I mean, you're right there. You're about to become batshit crazy right in front of everybody who's watching this show. Kamala Harris was selling out stadiums and Donald Trump wasn't? That's not a healthy person. This is what we're dealing with on the left. These are not healthy people. These are people who have checked out of reality for some time, and they're on stage and they're talking to people and they're raising kids. And I look at this and I'm thinking, is she acting? She's been an actress. Is she acting? Is this just a persona she's putting on? Is she there for her close-up? I don't know. I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping she's looking at this and going, this is my way back. Maybe I'll get a part. People can see, wow, she's acting. She's delivering a line with complete proficiency. Everybody can see the conviction of the way she delivers her lines. Because if she's truthful about this, then she needs to get some help.
So it's curious to me. And as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened in our country.
Here's the reason. The reason that he only got 77 million votes is because you guys cheat in the other states. That's the reason. It would be very simple if you went to voter ID and made sure we could actually get an accurate counting. It'd be real interesting if California can count votes on the same day. So we wouldn't have to wait 6 weeks. It would be really interesting if the black communities weren't always the last ones to count their votes. It'd be real interesting, very interesting, if on election day at midnight, all votes had to be in and they were all counted by hand and we knew exactly who won in all 50 states. But maybe I'm living in the same fantasy world she's living in, because that's nuts.
Number 5.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem vows to hunt the cowards behind those calls. Quote, under President Trump's leadership, we will not sit idly by as conservative news media and their families are being targeted by false swatting. DHS has the ability to trace phone numbers and track location information, and we will use it to hunt these cowards down. This is an attack, she says, on our law enforcement and innocent families, and we will prosecute it as such. Guy, a frightening turn of events that hopefully does not begin a pattern.
I am concerned. Robin told me I had to go to the police department. In my life, I've never willingly gone into a police department. But I'm going to, and my sheriff buddy is telling me to do the same thing. So I already talked to them. I got to go in. And this time I can go in without getting fingerprinted or anything for beating anybody up or anything. So I'm like, hi. I'm one of those conservative dudes that, people show up at their houses with rifles. Can you make sure that doesn't happen to me? Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Because, again, like you just heard Bat Poop Crazy, Rosie O'Donnell, things are going to ramp up. Be ready for it. Don't think I'm trying to scare you, because you're already seeing it. If you already see people getting swatted now, what's going to happen when Donald Trump runs through the stop sign? What's going to happen when they realize they have nothing that they can do to stop him? You see, for some of them, I believe it's a possibility that they're beginning to see it. But for many of them, they're still holding out the hope that Trump will be restrained by these judges. But when he puts the pedal to the metal and decides he's running through the stop sign and the barricades, and all hope is done for them, and then they have nothing to lose, that's when it's going to get crazy. You think it's crazy now? It's going to get crazy when they have nothing to lose. And that may be very soon. It may be over very soon for the Democrat Party. I wonder how many people have actually been understanding and thinking about that. What will they do when they realize that their entirety of what they've been working on goes up in smoke? That's going to be very scary.
This as a weapon is extremely dangerous and it's evil, and it should be charged basically at the level of a home invasion, I think. Right? I believe that when someone falsely accuses someone else of, let's say, sexual assault, if that is proven to be a hoax and false, there should be charges commensurate to what the lie initially was. And in this case, you're putting a lot of people's lives in danger. You are sending armed police, heavily armed police, to the house, believing falsely, because of the lie, that there's some sort of life-threatening moment or incident unfolding in that house or at that property. So they are armed to the teeth, understandably, and the people sitting at home are completely unaware of any of this. They're just innocently trying to go about their lives, even sleeping in bed at night, and to have a door knocked down or pounding it is a terrifying thing, and those who are responsible for swatting others should face extremely serious consequences. Because this
I 100% agree. If you're putting someone's life in danger, you're basically, I don't know, committing attempted murder. At that point, if someone were to do that to our house, you're putting my wife in danger. And God help me if I ever found out who you were. Swatting would be the least of your concerns. You see, you're a coward. Everyone doing this to people. Everyone trying to make this happen against someone who's conservative. You are absolute cowards. I'd even go further if I wasn't right now on YouTube, call you the P word. Because that's what you are. You're pubic hair lint. You're not even good as a pubic hair. You're pubic hair lint. Because that's all you can do at this point. So I just want each of you to be ready. And realistically, after you get done watching this video, think to yourself, what happens when he runs through the barricades? You see, they're seeing it. They can see everything that's absolutely happening around them. In a second, Ashley just sent me a video of Donald Trump walking into the wrestling match tonight. Yeah, tonight. And the place goes absolutely nuts. I believe it's in Pennsylvania. Democrats will see this, and it will drive them crazy.
Thing will get people killed.
Number 4.
And then Trump signed the executive order this week to shut down the Department of Education, saying it's a waste of taxpayer money. He wants most aspects of the department turned over to states to improve student outcomes, even though states already pay for about 90% of K through 12 education, and they oversee curriculum. And then he, of course, offered no details on how education will be improved by his actions. What are the consequences for public education, and is this a fight Democrats can take on?
Well, first, let me just start by, I was a longtime teacher and educator before I got to Congress. I did about 10 years in the classroom. This is, in my opinion, might be the most horrific thing that Donald Trump and Elon Musk have actually done.
Okay, let's wait and see if he gives us an answer as to why it's the most horrific thing that they've ever done.
What people don't understand is that the Department of Education is the single largest supporter for families
of the Democrat Party. You could have stopped right there. The Department of Education is the biggest supporter of the Democrat Party. Now, what I want you to hear, what I want you to listen to, because he's talking about education. Let's see if he talks about reading, writing, and arithmetic.
And who have children with disabilities in America's classrooms. These are largely federally funded programs. These are not generally fully funded by states. And so to eliminate the Department of Education and for Trump to say, well, we're just going to send the money to the states, one, is a flat out lie. And two, especially red states in conservative areas, they're going to send those resources to private schools that don't actually provide any classroom experience or support or inclusion programs for children with.
Oh, Mr. Fluffy Light in the Socks here is worried about inclusion. That's what he's concerned about. Still yet he's not talking about anything about reading, writing, arithmetic, but he made sure inclusion is the problem. When did it become such a priority? I mean, were you doing inclusion in 1988, 89, 90, 93, 94? When did inclusion become such a massive problem that the Department of Education had to oversee? But I'm sure Fluffy's not going to tell us that.
Disabilities. And so this is an attack, yes, on families, on students, on teachers, but it is a horrifically shameful moment that the president wants to hurt children with distinct needs, that they need also education to be included in our education system. They're the biggest losers in this. And I think we should all be protesting in the streets about this and be incredibly angry.
You catch that? We need to protest in the streets. Everything that they talk about, get out in the streets, go, run, do whatever you need. Hey, what about the $100 billion you spent last year? What happened? Did these kids that you're worried about graduate better? Did they read better? Can they add? They do arithmetic? Anything? I'm just asking. Why all of a sudden, if you know it's broken, why didn't you fix it? Oh, because it was inclusion.
And letting Republicans know that they have enabled this kind of action against America's families.
So I put that in there so you could hear what their complaints are. And again, I'm still waiting. I have to get that GIF out, whatever, where you keep looking TikTok, waiting for a Democrat anywhere to tell me how it affects people doing math and or reading. They don't seem to ever say that. Inclusion. What do you mean inclusion? You can go to school. Nobody's telling you can't go to school. Maybe just maybe you're not going to be able to put those things in boys' locker rooms. Oh, maybe you're going to have to play your own sport. Oh, maybe you're not going to have to, be bused somewhere. Maybe you're going to have to actually earn a grade. Maybe you're not going to get passed along just because, we need to get you into the 5th grade, but you still can't read in 3rd grade reading level. They don't talk about the kids. It's all about them. Makes me sick.
Or 3.
The thing that I want to pick up on, Eugene, is the question I kind of put on the table is this approach. I love it. Yeah. First off, the oligarchy tour, I think, kind of misses middle America. A little bit. Because Democrats.
Because it's not American? It kind of misses middle America because nobody really gives a crap about oligarchy. I think what they're worried about is, again, a message. They're trying to find a message, and they can't find one because nobody's afraid of an oligarch running things. You're taking a European Russian term and saying that's what's happening here, which is the very same term like saying he's a Nazi. So you just change one denigrating word for another. Oligarch, Nazi. Maybe you merge him and he'll be an oligarchical Nazi oligarch. Who knows where they're going to go with this stuff?
That's, in my view, being tone deaf from what the American people are saying. Folks sitting at the local pub aren't using the term oligarchy.
Okay, wait, but I'm sorry. They're in Middle America. He launched a tour at Omaha. They were in Denver.
Look, again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you launch it. It's what you say when you launch it. And if you're using terms and phraseology, right, that is not directly connecting people, then that becomes a concern in the process. You're covering this here on the Hill and out on the streets. What are you hearing the response is to this?
I think, I talked to a bunch of Democrats this week who are happy that this tour, these kinds of things are happening just like you, but they agree. They think that the word oligarch is maybe one that they should skip, right? And go with something like corruption or something like that, right? That makes clear.
Let me know if you know any oligarchs who wanted people like that as a part of their, I don't know, grouping. Just saying. Maybe that's why they're looking to change the name, because, oh, hey, you didn't realize what the oligarchs meant, right? Yeah, okay, so you're using this term that nobody knows about. Here's a bigger problem with you. The Democrats at the 12th hour are searching for leadership. And AOC and Bernie are out there doing their commie tour. And yeah, they drew a big crowd in a commie area. Even Democrats know this thing has no legs. It has nowhere to go. And one of the videos I did a couple of days ago was about the contrast. The contrast between the Democrats and Trump. And over here, all you're talking about is poor, black, people who are on the fringe because of their lifestyle. And that's it. You got Bernie Sanders out there. You got Bernie Sanders and AOC, an 80-something-year-old guy and a crazy bartender, and that is not going to play to most of America. There are people saying, I hope this is your ticket. I pray this is your ticket. You guys may not win another election for 30 years. They don't get it. This entire party is swirling the drain, and the worst thing that could happen, the worst thing that could have happened for them is to have AOC and Bernie generate 30,000 people in a field. That's the worst thing that could have happened, because now they got to figure out how to deflect from this. They got to figure, hey, this ain't going to work nationally. But now millionaires and billionaires, he's going to be all over it.
That there's a connection there and that people understand in their everyday lives, and the one that is already kind of exists in the lexicon of our political environment, and that that gets people riled up. And so that's one. But I do think that someone has been waiting for anyone to do anything, right? Looking for some member of Congress, whether it be Bernie Sanders or Hakeem Jeffries or someone, to find a way to gather people together, rile them up, and then more importantly, channel that into something else, right? What happens?
Okay, so they had a big meeting. How desperate do you have to be to go on national television, MSNBC, and say, we've been looking for anybody, anything, do anything. Just show us that you care. We got to find a way to go around Trump. Meanwhile, Trump's getting ready to go right through you. Gonna go right through you. You don't have a chance. I can't wait till I wake up one morning and hit on X and find out he just told these judges to get bent. Can't wait.
After that. And that's kind of where they are. And so this is kind of a test case to see if these kinds of things will actually end up working. I think the big...
I want you to just grasp what he just said. By the way, this guy is the head of the White House correspondence right now. So he's baked in. He's embedded with the White House. He runs the White House room for the reporters. So he knows everything that's going on. And he just said the Democrats are throwing darts at a board. Well, let's see if this one works. Think about the level of... We're not talking about, the Boca Raton mayor. We're talking about presidential people who aspirations, who want to be president, and we're still throwing darts at the wall. And it tells you how bad it is. Well, they're going to see if this one works. So you're experimenting right now with who could possibly be a candidate for the Democrat Party. You have no bench. I've said it many times. There is nobody there. You can't tap in and bring in the bullpen. There's nobody out there. You let it get to this point by running a dementia patient and a cackling nut job. And now you're sitting back going, well, hey, we got nobody. Nobody. Let's experiment and put Bernie and AOC out there. Good luck.
Your thing is what happens after. You're talking about, do you try to find a way to bring some Republicans over, some of those folks that don't
you have to. You can't leave Republicans sitting on the sidelines because
some of them want to.
Number
Show me the Republican. Show me the Republican who's going to get behind AOC and Bernie. And I will show you somebody who's not a Republican. So I dare any Republican, especially in this day and age, dare any Republican to come over and embrace AOC and Bernie. I dare you. I double dog dare. Oh, that would be the end of your career so fast.
I propose, and would have already started, if your hypothesis is correct, a planned and orderly transfer back to the states and local communities of functions the federal government has usurped and which it has proven it is incapable of operating. And one of the first of those would be welfare. One of the second would be in the field of education. I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen. I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
I wasn't going to interfere as Ronald Reagan was speaking. Just as I wouldn't interfere if Donald Trump was speaking. Ronald Reagan was brilliant. He knew then that was a problem. He couldn't get it done. But here we are 40 years later, and Donald Trump, I'm sure, has studied much of what Ronald Reagan wanted. And he understands the future for these kids and for this country is for this agency to be destroyed. Reagan knew it way back then. Just think about it. And Reagan was talking about what? Ending welfare and ending the Department of Education. And what happened with Reagan? See, that told me as I started seeing the stuff with Trump, and we all had seen the stuff with Kennedy, there's one thing that's common. It was people who attempted to obliterate the deep state. Reagan never said those words, I don't think anyways. But what he was doing was gonna do just that. Obviously you know about JFK, and now we see what Trump is doing. It is such a tough thing to do that the person who's attempting it is putting their very lives at stake. But it has to be done. And now you're seeing the snakes are absolutely just going nuts. Nuts. Because of what people with vision have seen and understood. This is the key to fixing this country if we can get it done and if we can survive to get it done. So you got to get it done and then you got to survive it. And in between, so many people were scared poopless that they didn't bother touching it, or they were compromised, or whatever. That they just went, let me just stay off of this. I don't want to touch this third rail. That third rail ends up not in a good place for people. So pray for Donald Trump and understand this is a very, very, very end of the road for the deep state, and they know it. He knew where that money was. He understood USAID. He understood it's not the same as welfare, but he saw what was funding everything. And they've cut it off, and these people don't know what to do. And when you hit this kind of desperation, you know what comes next. Pray for that.
Speaking of potentially great ideas, can you tell us about the Trump card?
Sure. So,
whose idea was that, and how did that come about?
John Paulson had a call with Donald Trump and was talking to Donald Trump and was kicking around the idea of we should sell, right? Why do we give away visas? We should sell them. And they're talking about it. Donald Trump calls me, gets me on the phone, right? We all talk about it, right? And then we go from there. And then my job is to figure out, like I always figure out, how to do it. What's the path?
Do you have
Let's
a
go
path?
figure it out. Of course. About 2 weeks from today, it goes out Okay, Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then out it goes. And by the way, yesterday I sold 1,000.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Okay, so just if you guys don't remember the gold card, the Trump card, he's going to sell it to wealthy foreigners who want to come to the United States. Wealthy, fully vetted foreigners who want to come to the United States. It's going to cost you $5 million per person. So if you want to bring your whole family over here, family of 4, you, your wife, and 2 kids, it's going to cost you $20 million. You ante up to $20 million, we're going to let you in. The Democrats feel like he's selling off admission to the country. To which point I would say, yes, that's exactly what he's doing. He's guaranteeing that there's a benefit to the United States. That he doesn't have to worry about these people coming in from another country who are going to do nothing but jump on our welfare program. I understand you guys want people to pick, the tomatoes, and you need people to pick the lettuce, but what he's talking about is bringing in people who have money. And I don't understand, we've got to shake the tree of insanity and make every leaf fall off of it where people realize money is not a bad thing. If this works and it lessens your taxes, you're going to think otherwise. Now, I understand, let me just put the big asterisk that everyone's been talking about. We have to make sure these people are fully vetted. We're not bringing in any terrorists or anything like that. I understand. But do you want someone paying a $5 million ticket? Or do you want somebody sliding across the Rio Grande? It's a pretty simple decision. Why anybody would have a problem with this makes no sense. Hey, we're going to bring in people who have the wherewithal to survive and prosper here. Or we're going to bring in people who are going to swim across the Rio Grande and become wards of the state. Make that make any sense?
I got a poly market I created on how many are you guys going to sell this year. So
Cool.
Yeah, curious to see how many.
That's fantastic. Do you want to tell people just the rough?
Yeah, what are the
broad
terms
strokes?
on it? Yeah.
So if you're a U.S. citizen, you pay global tax.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not going to bring in outsiders going to come in to pay global tax. So if you have a green card, which used to be a green card, now gold card, you're a permanent resident of America. You can be a citizen, but you don't have to be. And none of them are going to choose to be. What they're going to do is they're going to have the right to be in America. They pay $5 million, and they have the right to be in America. They have the right to be in America. As long as they're good people.
And they're vetted.
And they can't break the law. We can always take it away if they're like evil or mean or bad or something. Not mean, but if they do something horrible, you can take it away. Right? But the idea is, if I was not American, and I lived in any other country, I would buy 6. 1 for me, 1 for my wife and my 4 kids, because God forbid something happens. I want to be able to go to America, and I want to have the right to go to the airport, to go to America, and them to say, hello, Mr. Letnick. Hello, Mr. Letnick and the Letnick family. Welcome home.
Right.
That's what.
Think about that. You live in some, war-torn country, but you have money. I mean, like, for instance, and Ashley just sent me this, just so you guys can get a good glimpse of something specific application to what Howard just said. So you live over there in that part of the world, and you find out that just about 20 minutes ago, Zelensky is accused of striking a gas control station near the Ukraine border after Russia agreed to halt attacks on energy targets. And so you can see here that the guy's still looking to fight, and you're over in that area, not even saying you're actually in Ukraine, but you're over in that area, and you're like, hey man, I don't want nothing to do with this stuff anymore. I'm done. I'm done with these people. I got 20 million. I'm going to send it over to you, Howard. We want in. You pass all the tests, you pass all the vetting, we let you in, and you no longer have to worry about being stuck over there in a war zone. Why is that bad? I don't get it.
I want to hear. I don't want to hear I can't come here when there's a horrible war, a horrible whatever.
Right.
I want to be able to go home, right? And once I'm home, I might as well build a business.
Yeah.
So you have the most productive people in the world going to start spending time here. They're going to have a family office. They're going to hire some people.
And you're not going to tax their external worldwide income.
I only tax the money they make in America, which is what we do now.
Yeah.
But their global income stays out.
And they pay $5 million. And how many people do you think there are that could qualify in the world?
There are 37 million people in the world who are capable of buying the card. In case you were wondering.
37 million. Wow. That's a lot more than ChatGPT told me.
Who are capable of buying it.
Who are capable of buying it.
Now, I'm not saying they will, but they're capable of buying.
How many do you think you'll sell?
The president thinks we can sell 1 million.
So
That's
$5 trillion.
I think 1 million.
He thinks he's going to sell 1 million gold cards at $5 million a piece. That's $5 trillion lopped off the deficit, right off the top. Why are we having a problem with this? Why is this even something that the Democrats would be pissed off at? Oh, that's right. Number one, they didn't think of it. Number two, it brings in good people, people who most likely would be voting Republican. You said you wanted to open the border and let everybody in for free, not knowing who the hell they are. And Trump says, no, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to make them pay money so that we get, the best of the best of the best.
Is reasonable. I mean, look, as an outsider who came in and got his green card and then got his citizenship and now pay global tax every which way known to man. If this were available 15 years ago after the Facebook IPO, that's what I would have done. It would have been much better for me theoretically. Now I'm happy to pay the taxes.
So the idea is, and it's going to go fast. Meaning you apply, right? We take your money, and the way computers work now, they have these cool things, like these computer things. They're amazing. You're like, you put stuff in and they actually check everything. It's fantastic. You don't even have to plug them in anymore. It's amazing. Like they get the information through the air. I mean, you could do a better vet than anybody in government has ever done it before in 1 second.
Right.
Better than they've ever done it before.
Better than they've ever done it before. Why would you complain about that? Now, I have one last video I want to show you. Ashley sent over to me before we close, and I'll take some comments and things. But I want you to see this. This is President Trump walking into the wrestling match today in Philadelphia, I believe. I think it's Philadelphia. You got to see this. Who's that guy in the black hoodie? oh, the first bro. He's there. He's there too. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I love that the first bro is there as well. He goes everywhere with him. Everywhere he goes with him. Gotta love that. Hey, you know what? I haven't done this in a while, but let me go ahead and tell you about this real quick. I know some of you guys have been really interested in it, and so I want to read this for you real quick. The Trump knives are back, baby. Back. Folks, Trump is finally back in office, and it's only going to get better from here as a celebration. Patriot Addict is sending our free Trump red knives to people who voted for Trump. Just scan the QR code right over here to get yours right now. This is just our way of saying thank you for supporting him and being a part of this moment in history. Normally this knife right here, there it is, sells for $70. But right now you can grab it just for the cost of shipping, which is like $13.99. Scan the QR code over here. There it is right there. Scan that QR code. And to apply your 100% off coupon and claim your Trump knife today before they're all gone. Now, I just wanted to take some extra time and show you guys this thing. All right, so comes in a nice box, right, like that Trump knife box. It's a big knife. It's not some little flimsy knife. People have gotten them. It's got some strength to it. I have to be careful because this thing is very, very sharp. And you can see on it, Trump knife and everything else. It's got a window thing to break the window if you have to break glass. It's got a seat belt cutter right there. And it's pretty easy to use. Those of you guys who have used hunting knives and things of that nature understand how you have to be careful with these knives. They're very, very sharp. Be careful around kids. But if you want a good quality knife, that is a knife, and you're going to get it for free. Many of you have ordered it. Many of you have received it. It's only $13 for shipping. So go ahead and take a look at that next time you have a chance. You hit the QR code. I'm trying to work with them to get a URL so you don't have to use a QR code, because many people have said, I can't get the QR code. But sorry about that. Let's see here. So I have one at work, Barry. Very, very nice. Barry got my knife. It's awesome. See, you guys are hearing it. There you go. Let's see. I wanted to mention this. I don't know how this happens or what it is, but it says, I've been trying to chat for 3 days. Just want to send love to y'all. They're messing with me again. I can't take these people anymore. Seriously, I can't take this. These people are so sick. I hear you. There's nothing I can do about YouTube and how they do things. So I guess I can say I apologize, but it's not us. Yes, Mark Wayne Mullen was there as well. Jim Jordan, I did see Jim Jordan there. He was there as well. Can you put the code back up, please? I don't think there's any way for me to do it. No, I can't. Maybe you can rewind. I can't put it back up. I got a really strong feeling that Elon is getting from Trump what he always wanted from his dad. I think it's very easy to look up Trump as a father figure. Good point. Good point you have there. Made in China? I don't know where they're made. Haven't even looked, to tell you the truth. My phone won't work with a QR code either. All right, I'll make sure that I get a link so I can put that up as well. I will definitely do that for you guys. Yep, Jim Jordan was there. Are you doing hoodies tonight? I hadn't planned on doing hoodies tonight. I'm going to do hoodies tomorrow night, for sure. So make sure you're here tomorrow night. Will we have a fanfare party? I'm working on it. That's all I can say right now. We're working on it. Ashley's going to be back down here in a couple weeks, and I think, I wanted to wait till the weather got a little bit better, and after the snowbirds are here, and be able to get people to come on down. I bought three, one for me and one for a couple of neighbors. Very, very cool. I got it from Roaring Rage. Okay, very cool. All right, so Democrats have gone psycho. They are proving they can never be president again. Wait, Ashley is saying something. I just want to make sure I have this. All right, so let me do the super chats. Let me know if you liked this format better, and maybe you didn't even notice that there was a different format tonight. What I'm doing is trying to make things a little bit faster paced. And also, I'm doing it so that it's easier for me to produce videos separately from the live shows in case people miss it as well. Thank you. Very so glad you're feeling better. I hope I sounded better. I only coughed a couple times, so it's almost done. Almost all done. Am I seeing the bombshells in the JFK files? Yes, I am seeing those. I'm waiting to put something together about that and go over all of that. A lot of them don't have any conclusions, but enough of them are tying together where, like Peter Doocy said at the White House, you want to tell us who did it? And Trump wouldn't say it, but it's becoming very, very obvious. How do we sign up for the Trump hoodie? Oh, I didn't do that today. Hold on. Hey, if you'd like to join 15,000 plus fellow patriots on X in our private X/Twitter group, go to fanfareshop.org/group. Just put in that URL in your browser. It'll take you right to our private group on X. Love to see you there. Let's share some content. And if you'd like to win a hoodie, or rather if you'd like to enter to win a hoodie, go to fanfareshop.org, fanfareshop.org, and register to win a Trump hoodie.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
All right, so before I do the YouTube super chats, Ashley and SV told me R-Star77 did a nice one, and SV told me there was one. I'm not sure if that's the same one. Let me just check what SV's message was. Yeah, R-Star77. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, R-Star. I greatly appreciate it, especially over on Rumble. All right, so let's get to the other super chats and talk about them. I Am Planet Hermit, Crystal Knock 2.0, never let them have any power ever. Yes. Chris P., yesterday in New Jersey, my sister's neighbor's house was invaded at 1 p.m. by masked Venezuelan. Wow. That's scary. That's really scary. The Trace Leches got caught and turned over to the FBI. Wow. Job for 9. Buy the dip. I always tell you guys, buy the dip if you can. Rachel Hartleben. I can't help but wonder how many of these libnuts have Tesla safety locked up in their own garage. Yeah, they were all in, and now they're in big trouble. God bless America. Barry, I want the names of the Dems who told these idiots what to do and the individuals who put money in their hands. Yes, it's going to be traceable. It's definitely going to be traceable. Coin Holio. hey, ho, ho. Elon Musk has lots of dough. Oh, these people are nuts. But he's saying American people don't trust the media. Nor should they. There's too many instances of seeing exactly what these people have done. God bless America. Barry, did you see the video of a guy digging crude out? Yeah, I just talked about it. If you haven't seen that video, that is the epitome of insanity. Of a guy going into his butt and pulling out poop, which in and of itself is kind of weird, and putting it on the Tesla. BLS Doomcrow, Barry, if it's okay with you, I'd like to post a link to my Discord that's been sitting dormant, so we have a voice chat 24/7 in the community. Could we talk about the logistics? I think it could work. Community poll, maybe. Yeah, if SV and you guys want to work on that, it's fine with me. SV, you guys can set it up. Ashley? Michael Smith, watching this makes me want to go Tesla shopping. Absolutely. If you had seen the Tesla we saw today, the one that was wrapped, and it looked like it was maybe from a tattoo artist shop or something, and it looked phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Kem Romolino, this is my chance to get a used Tesla for cheap. I don't know how cheap it's going to be. These people are selling at a loss, but I don't think Tesla's stupid enough to sell them cheap. Job for 9. Barry, did you hear that Bill Maher is going to interview POTUS? Yeah. You know how I heard it, by the way? I heard it from something that Laura Loomer posted. And she was pissed off because Bill Maher got to go to the White House. And I'm thinking to myself, people change. People change. let's see here. What's this? Neo. Thank you, Barry, for sharing truth. I trust in Trump and God. We all need to pray to God. Please keep us safe as we face such big evil. Absolutely. Huge evil. Vanessa, Barry, appreciating so much for all you do exposing these fake news liars. The Tesla riots are all white, mostly old dudes, and old ladies too. Didn't see any color. No, there is one video. You just brought that up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And it was very interesting, and I'm sure it pissed the liberals off. Let me see if I can find it. If not, I'll get it tomorrow. It was going around. Yep, got it. If you know what to search for, you can find it. Look at this. And it says here, this is fantastic. Let me blow it up this way. Okay. Black woman approaches a Tesla Cybertruck with young children and lifts a young boy to give him a glimpse of the interior. Very different from the people with mental illness that have been approaching Teslas recently. All right, so you can see this video, and this is a woman with her 2 kids. Black woman, and they walk up and they look at the truck, and the son's like, wait a minute, whoa, let me see inside the Cybertruck. And he's like, whoa. America isn't with these nuts. America is not embracing the crazies. That's America. That's why they are not going to win. Real people. More than likely, maybe even a Democrat. I have no idea. But the fact that she wanted to show her son, and notice this is obviously Catholic school. You see the daughter is in a uniform, and the boy's got a tie that matches the young girl's dress. Here, as it come let me see if I can stop it so you guys can see. Look it. Oh, I can't pause it. Wait a second. Let me pull that back. Wait a second. Right there. Look. The young girl is in the uniform for the Catholic school. I've seen it all my life. She's got the knee-high stockings. She doesn't have saddle shoes on. And the boy's got the same pattern tie, just like I used to go to grammar school when I was in Catholic school. White shirt, khaki pants. This is someone who has their kids in a semi-private school. Tell me you don't love that. Tell me you don't love that. Tell me that doesn't personify everything right there. Yeah, are those kids in school uniforms? Yeah, that was a school uniform. Wow, thank you. Yeah, that looks like Catholic school. Makes me cry happy tears. And if nothing else, it makes you realize the Democrats are losing so badly, they don't even realize that they're losing real people. They had no interest in defacing that car. They weren't going to do anything other than, wow, this is the ugliest, coolest truck I've ever seen. Because most of the time when you see the Cybertruck, you're like, wow, that's ugly. But then again, wow, that's cool. It has a double emotion at the same time. What is that? But it's cool. And if you've seen the one I saw today was wrapped, I'm like, damn, that was a good looking vehicle. Man, families, that video right there should be passed around. In fact, I'm going to have to retweet it because that is going to hit at the core of the Democrat Party. They hate so much. You're going to hate on these people? Good luck with that. All right, everybody. Thank you. See you tomorrow. I don't know what time yet, so I'll post in the morning or mid-afternoon. It'll be about this time, 6 or so on a Sunday. But hope you guys have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know in the comments and stuff if you like this new format. Talk to you soon.